Welcome to the Narcan Project Outreach, Opioid Overdose Prevention Education. Opioid overdose was already the leading cause of death for Americans 20 to 50 before the pandemic, and now it's gotten even worse. If opioid levels in the blood get too high, breathing can slow down, leading to death. The brain has many receptors for opioids, and an overdose occurs when too much of an opioid attaches to the receptors. Naloxone or Narcan has a stronger affinity to the opioid receptors than the opioids, knocking them off of the receptors for 30 to 90 minutes, reversing the overdose. Narcan has no effect on someone who is not taking opioids. And the only effect Narcan has is that it will cause someone who is dependent on opioids to go into sudden opioid withdrawal syndrome. Fentanyl poisoning is fueling the overdose epidemic. Fentanyl is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Carfentanil is even stronger. Fentanyl is now common in cocaine and methamphetamine. Fake pharmaceuticals are now being made with fentanyl, including imitation Valium, Xanax, and even ecstasy. The Drug Enforcement Agency last year, a few months ago, released their first extreme warning alert because there were more than 9.5 million counterfeit fentanyl poison pills confiscated last year. 2 out of 5 of these pills contains a lethal dose of fentanyl. This is an incredible crisis that is actually affecting children now as they are buying these fake pills over the internet. When a person overdoses from fentanyl, it means they've probably taken a huge dose, and they may require more than 1 dose of Narcan. They also would be highly likely to possibly return to overdose when the Narcan wears off. So we need to make sure that they don't run off. People are going to want to run off. They're not going to want to stay around for the police or the EMTs to arrive. Many of them don't realize, or probably most don't, that they're going to go back into overdose when the Narcan wears off. So we have to make sure that they get proper continuing care. There are many, many reasons why overdose may occur. Any child or adolescent may get into a medicine cabinet or someone else's drugs. Animals can even overdose, and there has been an increase in dog overdoses in places where there are a lot of overdoses. When a person overdoses, their poison drugs are going to be laying out, either in their home or in a alleyway or wherever they might be, and it's highly likely that either an animal or a child will get into those poison drugs. Elderly and others with memory problems can easily get confused and take too much. Someone may also spike a drug or a drink or a food with another substance. All we need to know is that opioid overdose is an epidemic and that Narcan can save lives. The signs of overdose include unconscious, no response to touch or voice, shallow gurgling or stop breathing, maybe choking sounds, blue or purple lips or fingertips, a slow heart rate, pulse, and blood pressure. There will be pinpoint pupils, meaning the center part of the eye is very small, pale and clammy skin, and no response to a sternal rub with the knuckles. Check for and remove any fentanyl patches, as people can also overdose on a fentanyl patch. To use Narcan, we're going to lay the unconscious person on their back. Check that there is nothing in the mouth. We tilt the head slightly back and support the neck with our hand. We peel back the packaging and hold the Narcan spray with our thumb on the bottom and 2 fingers on the nozzle. We place and hold the tip of the nozzle into their nostril until our fingers touch their nose, and then we press firmly. There's no testing or half doses. We do 1 firm press. Then we wait 2 to 3 minutes. If the person is not revived or back conscious and breathing well by 2 to 3 minutes, we use another dose. After we've used the Narcan, we place the person in the recovery position. Left side, left hand supporting the head, the right arm bent, top knee bent to prevent rolling. If no response within 2 minutes, we use a second mist in the other nostril. Additional doses every 2 minutes. We call 911. The overdose can return, and we may need more Narcan. With the fentanyl poisoning, they may need many doses of Narcan. And as I stated before, it may be highly likely that they may return to overdose when the Narcan wears off. We can use rescue breathing when we have no Narcan or we have used all of the Narcan that we have. For rescue breathing, we pinch their nose, and then we give 2 quick breaths and 1 breath every 5 seconds. Once again, for rescue breathing, lay on the back, tilt the head back, clear air passage, pinch nose, open mouth, 2 quick breaths, then 1 breath every 5 seconds. Their chest should rise. We're going to perform this while we're waiting for the Narcan to take effect, or if we don't have Narcan. With the synthetic opioids, fentanyl and carfentanil, fueling the spike in overdose, it's highly likely that it will take several doses of Narcan, and also that there's a possibility that they will return to overdose when the Narcan wears off. Every state has its own Good Samaritan laws. These cover any overdose first responder. These laws were passed to encourage people to call for help when overdose occurs without fear of arrest. And there is usually someone there in the majority of overdoses, but 50% of the time they were afraid to call. Protection is extended to people on probation, parole, and pretrial release. After we have responded to an overdose, we need to realize that waking up for an overdose can be very traumatizing. And as someone wakes up, we want to give them a little bit of space and gently welcome them back. We may choose to say, hello friend, my name is, say, Kay, and I just had to give you Narcan. I'm sorry that you don't feel well, and when you're ready, you're just so you know that you're safe, and I'm glad that you're alive. We're going to repeat this until the person is fully awake. And if they're disoriented, we give them more space and try to stay with them and also take care of ourselves. After a medical emergency like an overdose, this is not the time for arguing, shaming, or shouting.